Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to r/idontworkherelady, where Karen mistakes a woman with only one leg for an employee and harasses her to get something from a high shelf. If you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe because I upload daily videos. And now, let's dive right into the stories. I'm not a car salesman, and it would be illegal to sell you a car. Not exactly I don't work here, because I do. I work in the parts shipping and receiving of Volkswagen. I am most definitely not a car salesman. I was walking some paperwork over to the main building when this entitled lady stops me. EL.
Does anyone even work here?
Me ignoring her. EL.
Excuse me, I said does anyone even work here?
Me, sigh. Yes, plenty of people work here. What do you need? EL.
Finally, it's a shame this generation has no work ethic. Now I need you to sell me this car. I want it, and I better get a discount for how rude you were.
Me? What the F is wrong with this lady? Me? Sorry, I'm not a car salesman, but if you walk through that door, points to said door, you will find at least 5 people who can help you. I have lurked enough on this sub to know she was about to blow up, so I just walked away from her and got back to my building. Thankfully, she did not follow me. She screamed something unintelligible at me as I walked away, but I don't care. I'm not paid to deal with people, I am paid to deal with parts. By the way, if any of my subscribers drive a German car, please tell me in the comments because I'm curious what kind of car you drive. Don't hold a meeting in the soda aisle. Short and stupid. I live in an upper middle class suburb of New York City. Some of the people in my town are a bit entitled. Anyway, onto the story. When I work from home, I dress very casually, basically sweats, and I don't bother shaving. I find weekdays to go shopping to be the best as the store is not too crowded. I wanted to get some diet soda for the weekend and a well-dressed late 20s/early 30s man was on his phone standing in front of the soda I wanted. I said, "Excuse me," and he rolled his eyes and said,
"Just because I'm wearing a suit and talking business on the phone doesn't mean I work here."
I replied, "I just need to get what you're blocking." He huffed, mumbled something about lazy people who don't have a job to whoever he was speaking to and moved over. Now, if that was the end of the story, I wouldn't have bothered posting. But of course, it's not. I heard him mention a type of case in our local state courthouse. Next town over is the county seat. In the same practice area my wife and I practiced in when we were practicing law. I closed her firm when she passed, just wasn't the same. Our county is small enough so that if you are practicing for a few years, you know most of the lawyers and judges in your area of law. Still a little annoyed from our interaction, I decided to play a bluff. I asked, "Are you talking about type of case in front of Judge X?" Startled, he replied,
"What do you want to know?"
My response, "It sounds like the case my wife and I are opposing counsel on in front of Judge X in courtroom 123 next week." The dude turned very white very fast. He was indeed talking about a case that was going to be in front of Judge X next week. Fortunately for him, I remembered our case was the following week to let him know that he hadn't just royally messed up, followed with a suggestion he may not want to have those type of conversations where he can be overheard. Moral of the story, don't have a confidential conversation in public and don't underestimate some slop dressed in sweats. As a bonus, a nice little story from the comments. Posted by Melodrama. Lawyers can be as stupid as anyone. I and one of my colleagues were in a town 5 hours away from home for a deposition. Had dinner at the local famous restaurant after we rolled into town the night before the start of the depot. And I'm not kidding you, the opposing counsel, who we hadn't met face to face yet, was in the booth behind us discussing the case, including strategy. How dumb can you be? That dumb. They were both older, experienced male attorneys, and we were both young and new to law practice ladies, so it probably never even occurred to them that we might be opposing counsel. And if you ask me, the moral of both of these stories is, don't judge someone based on his appearance, you might regret it later. Apparently, I look Costco. What is it about membership clubs? I swear, the number of entitled a-holes multiplies exponentially at a Costco, but I digress. Apparently, I look Costco, so this Karen with a Kate Gosselin haircut demanded I get something out of a high shelf for her. And by the way, I never said why I look Costco to her. I was wearing a polo shirt and shorts. No name tag or anything, just my usual warm day apparel. I was in a rush, had a cart full of groceries including ice cream. I just told her, I don't work here, bye. And apparently that was the worst thing I could have told her. This woman begins to go off on me like,
Don't effing lie to me, you look like a Costco employee, so I know you're lying. You better clean up your act or I will get you fired. I know the manager personally.
At this point, I just chuckle to myself and walk away. Come check out, I'm in line, there's 2 people behind me and this woman squeezes up to me and says,
Move, I need to check out. Don't think I'm not going to report you.
I did not move. I told her to get to the back of the line, shut the F up and to learn some basic manners. Once again, Karen wasn't having it and said,
How dare you speak to me like that? I will have you fired. I will tell people you raped me. Who would they believe, me or you?
At this point, I tell her to back the F off. One of the people behind me went to an employee who came up to Karen. This woman was still adamant I worked there and said to speak to the manager. The manager she knows tells her I don't work there and that she would be having her membership revoked for a racist tirade. I laughed as I was checking out, laughing with the cashier and side-eyeing this woman as they escorted her away. Not content giving me the last laugh, this dumb woman turns around and yells,
You guys are the problem. I cannot wait for the day Donald Trump deports you back to Africa.
I'm over here like, I was born in Michigan. I still got the last laugh. Needing a snack, I took my time and grabbed a hot dog. As I was leaving, I see that this Karen was getting arrested. Apparently, she didn't like that a black woman would be cancelling her membership, so she threw her purse at her from behind the counter. I just walked away, enjoying my hot dog. You know, I still really don't understand why an employee would lie about working somewhere. Also, if you have watched until here, please post some stars in the comments to let me know that you enjoy my content. Thank you very much, by the way. But now let's continue. Lady wants wheelchair-bound woman to get something from top shelf. Background: I'm an amputee after a summer 2017 car accident, left leg. This story takes place like 2 or 3 weeks after I got my cast off, so forgive me if I cannot remember the details well. The setting: Safeway grocery store chain. Me wearing a teal top with grey shorts in a wheelchair of vital importance, 1 leg. I was at the store to get some stuff for dinner and looking down the baking aisle, I was in a bit of a rush. I had grabbed a couple things and was trying to turn around to leave that aisle. As you probably expected, an older lady came up to me and asked for help. I'm terrible with saying no, so I reluctantly say, okay. Again, I'm in grey shorts and a teal top, clearly not an employee who wear black pants and either a black or tan shirt, and clearly in a wheelchair. Cast as Karen, the lady, me goes without saying. This is paraphrased, don't remember exact words from near 2 years ago. Sorry. Karen,
I need this.
This thing, I don't remember what,
from up there.
Points to the top shelf, miles above my sitting height. I would have done it if I was whole, but I have terrible balance now and I don't like to stand without my crutches. Me, okay, what do you want from me? Karen,
well, I want you to get it for me.
Me, being me, how? Karen,
just stand up and get it.
Me, you can see that I'm in a wheelchair, right? Karen,
so? You need to help customers.
Me, still not clicking. Me? Karen?
Yes, you. An employee should always put customers first.
Me, the amazing dumbass who finally gets what Karen is saying. Oh, I'm a customer, not an employee. Sorry. Karen looks as if she's finally seen light and takes in my entire appearance. She somehow went pale and red at the same time, and I'm still amazed by that feat and rushed off. This story in a nutshell:
how dare you lose your leg just to inconvenience me? I'm a loyal customer. Let me speak to the manager.
Yeah, my 11-year-old brother in PJs is a barista. I will try to keep it brief. My little brother and I went to Starbucks for a treat one day after I picked him up from school. A Karen was there and for some reason thought a 5th grader in PJs was a lazy barista that wouldn't make her drink and deserved to be berated and threatened. I come back from the bathroom after ordering and Karen is screaming at my brother, calling him incompetent to the point where he's crying from fear and confusion. The poor barista, working, grabs the manager as I put myself between the psycho and my bro and call her a crazy witch. She has a full-on meltdown, says she's getting everyone fired and demands free drinks. I give my brother the keys and tell him to wait in the car while I settle this, and she grabs his arm to stop him from leaving or she will
get him fired.
I shove her off of him and say, "He's 11, you stupid witch. He doesn't effing work here. Get your hands off of him." Cue classic Karen move where she threatens to call the cops. I say, "Go for it." The manager comes out and hears both sides. Karen says I'm a liar and she wants the authorities down here to arrest me. The manager mentions he can just check the tapes to see who's telling the truth, and Karen gets real effing quiet after that. She ends up running away after the manager threatens banning her. She leaves and he tells me she pulls this stuff all the time to get free drinks. He gives me a gift card and extra treats for my little brother and says he will probably ban her next time she tries anything. I hope that crazy scamming Karen learned her lesson. I would have effed her up if I knew I wouldn't get in trouble. Little brother was okay and personally thanked the manager later with a card, which he really appreciated. Answering a few comments, I'm an American woman. It was PJ Day at my brother's elementary school, although he can wear whatever the F he wants any day he chooses, so I don't know why that is so controversial. You know, that really surprises me that she didn't get banned instantly for assaulting an 11-year-old. But then again, I've never seen someone getting banned at Starbucks anyway. By the way, do you guys ever go to Starbucks? Woman thought I was doing community service. I was at a campsite waiting for the sunset so I can take pictures of the night sky. I wanted to include a picture with the landscape, but there was a few rubbish and dead plants. So I begin sweeping and clearing rubbish off the area. I wanted to look clean for the shot. Afterwards I sat down, put on headphones and ate a snack. Then a woman came up to me and asked,
"Where's your supervisor?"
I hated her tone, so I gave her a dirty look and ignored her. She very rudely continued to ask me the same question.
"Hey, I'm talking to you. Where's your supervisor?"
I told her to leave me alone and go away. She walked away in anger, then turned back to say,
"I can see why you are in jail, mate."
Then I realized she thought I was doing community service. When the sun started to set, I set up my camera gear. So she decided to move her four-wheel drive and park where I am obviously aiming to try and block me. When I aimed somewhere else, she would move there. I had to juke her to get my shot. Why the F are people so miserable? Edit, I tried to take the picture of the Milky Way, but my camera could only expose for 15 seconds. 15 seconds was not enough and you could only see some stars, not the Milky Way. It was so dark that I had to wait for around 5 minutes for my eyes to adapt to be able to see it. Apparently, in order to take the picture of the Milky Way, you need a tripod that can track the star's movement. And a camera that can expose for a very long time. Also, it's just fascinating again how condescending Karen is towards someone who's doing community service. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the US, not only former inmates have to do community service, but also sometimes kids have to do it for high school. At least, that's what a friend told me. It's not delivery, it's my dinner. Not sure if this story fits here, but posting anyway. I work at a Little Caesars and I usually work the closing shift. So I tend to take home a lot of pizza because who wants to cook that late? Almost without fail, every time I bring home food for myself, my across the street neighbor will come out, look around, then shout across the street asking if I'm his delivery. Like 2 or 3 times a week he does this. It's constant and I'm wondering how much effing delivery does this guy order, and second, if he's just messing with me at this point. He's got to realize I'm his neighbor eventually. Maybe he just thinks my family orders delivery a lot. The best part is that our store does not even deliver and I wear a uniform that has a massive LCP logo on it, so I'm very obviously not a delivery service. He gets super disappointed every time this happens and I almost want to start bringing this guy a pizza when I close because I'm starting to feel bad about it. But dude, I'm not the effing pizza guy. I'm your neighbor. you have lived next to me for like 10 years. Seriously? Edit, I have decided to bring him pizza after I get off work tonight, will update with results. New update, got off work like an hour and a half ago and made a pizza before I left because I didn't want to give this guy a bad old pizza. He fortunately was outside, so before he said anything I walked over and just told him I had his delivery, and he looked like kinda what the F and then started laughing hella hard. I asked him what the deal was. He said the first couple of times he asked me he actually did think I was his DoorDash. Then realized I lived next to him and decided to just F with me to see how long it would go on before I said something. Months apparently. But he said he did not think that I would actually bring him something, so we basically just chilled and ate some pizza together. Exchanged numbers, said I would bring him a pizza on weekends if I closed, but he seems like a legit cool dude and now I feel like a good neighbor. Moral of the story, when strangers yell at you late at night, give them free food. I don't know about you, but to me that sounds like a recipe for disaster. And if you have watched until here, which is really far, please give the video a like if you enjoyed it so far, and also subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to not miss any of my uploads. And the last one was posted by Stacy Rose on our subreddit r/ripestories. Karen got scared away from my laughing fit. I had another I don't work here situation happen today, but this time, because I was very tired, I ended up laughing so hard I think I almost peed myself. So I am off to good old Walmart, since it's the only big store that's open 24 hours, just to get some quick supplies for something I need to make at home. I didn't have everything I needed, so I knew Walmart would. I am wearing a blue t-shirt with a picture of a Native American Indian chief on it that I bought at the reservation. I have blue jeans on and sneakers. Nothing I'm wearing screams, I work for Walmart. I don't have the yellow vest or a name tag, so I'm not sure how anyone could possibly assume I work there when I don't. I'm still tired, cranky, and just wanting to get in and get out quickly. I'm going in and out of the aisles pretty quickly since I shop here all the time and know this store like the back of my hand. Once in a while I stop to say hello to an employee or another customer I might know. This was the first time I stopped to say hello to another customer I knew, a lady that lives on the same street I do. We were just chatting away, talking about different things we started to do for the summer when it happened. A real life Karen. I mean, she actually had the haircut. I actually googled what the Karen haircut was because I read so many of these stories. She stomps up to me and says,
"When are you done helping this lady? I need you to help me right now."
And stomps off to the other end of the aisle, tapping her foot with her arms crossed. I looked at her and back at my neighbor and then back at her again and started laughing. My neighbor says, "Are you okay?" Through some giggles of her own. I tried to say yes, but through the laughing it came out in stutters. I was laughing so hard I was crying, and I guess the Karen did not like this. She stomped back over to us and screams,
"What the hell is wrong with you? Stop laughing and come help me."
I'm still laughing at this time, clutching my sides, and my neighbor says, "She doesn't work here, and nor do I." She was still giggling too. The Karen says,
"What is so funny? I demand you stop laughing and help me right now. Do you think I'm stupid?"
After she said that, I fell to the floor laughing and crying at the same time. I looked up at her and through laughter I said, yes you do, Karen." And the Karen screams,
"My name is not Karen."
To which my neighbor says, "Well, it should be," and starts laughing hard too. An employee must have heard and came down the aisle just looking at the scene of two women laughing and one woman stomping her feet, screaming that her name is not Karen and she demands someone to help her right now. The employee just stared for a few minutes, then slowly backed out of the aisle. I was trying to gain composure, but every time the Karen opened up her mouth to say something, I had just started laughing again. Eventually, the Karen threw her hands up in the air and yelled,
"I give up,"
and stormed out of the aisle. My neighbor and myself were still laughing when finally another employee came down the aisle asking if we were okay. I laughed and said, "Yes, we just saw the elusive Karen in the wild," and burst out laughing again, and my neighbor said, "Yeah, and she doesn't like being called Karen. Hurry up and catch that wild beast before it gets away." The employee looked at both of us and said, "Sure, I will get right on that," and started laughing too. It took a while before we were able to compose ourselves to continue our shopping. My neighbor looked at me and said, "I need to go shopping with you from now on," to which I giggled and said, "We better bring a Karen catcher next time though." When we finally parted ways and finished our shopping, I could not stop smiling ear to ear. I completely forgot about how tired I was and just kept thinking the whole thing was silly. I don't know what set me off on that laughing fit, but I guess it could be because I was so tired. I'm curious, have any of you laughed so hard at something that shouldn't really be that funny? Well, I will relay that question to you guys, but I suppose we all would have laughed because that situation is just so stereotypical for Karen. But either way, that's the last story for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to give me some stars in the comments, like the video, etc, etc. Also, if you haven't already, check out the 2 videos I uploaded yesterday and 2 days ago, because they were pretty funny. So I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you tomorrow.